Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon, a retired New York City police detective with 20 years of law enforcement. If you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or when I upload another video. And tonight we're going to talk about the Summer Wells case. We have a lot of conversation going on about videos and audio files of Don Wells talking about SA and all different things. I want to get your opinions on how you guys feel about where we're at in this case. And if you can remember, from me, day one, I said the conversation, the interviews with Don and his son, the interview with Don and Candus, it all stunk to high heavens. I stick true to that at this point, and my co-hosts and my friends who are here with me, we all kind of feel the same way. But at the end of the day, we need to investigate this on the law enforcement side. They need to do their job. We need to let them continue to do what they do best, and that is figuring out the pieces of the puzzle. A special thank you to all my Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all folks who support this community through Patreon, through super chats, through sending direct PayPals. We greatly appreciate it. I have here with me the director of Equusearch Midwest, the Ohio chapter, Dave Rader. Thank you, Dave, for taking out your Saturday night to hang out with me tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and I appreciate you being here, Dave. Thank you.
Absolutely a pleasure once again, Ron. Absolutely a pleasure.
And we have so much going on behind the scenes. We're working night and day. And if you could just tell the audience quickly, our communication between myself and yourself and Twila and others behind the scenes, it's a daily thing. We're talking every day. I want you to just tell the audience a little bit about what we do and what we talk about behind the scenes and some of the things without giving away the shop. What goes on between DutyRon and Dave Rader's Twila and whatnot.
You know, again, there's a lot of moving parts to this. Everybody thinks that, putting on a search and just going and doing this is an easy task, and it's really not an easy task whatsoever. So there's a lot of moving parts that's going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see and realize. But and again, it's almost like the investigation, because you haven't seen it in the news and because you don't see TVI or Hawkins County actually giving them updates every single day. Trust me, they are absolutely working on this case. It's never ending. So that I can tell you personally, because we are in contact with them. Besides, between myself, Twila, Chris, and Ron, this is it is not only just a daily thing. It's multiple hours per day. This isn't just like a 10-minute phone call that we're doing. This is there's a lot to this, and we're making some headway. So as I say, just stay tuned, and hopefully there's going to be some good things that's happening.
I like to tell everybody, Dave, and I don't like to give away the shop, as we talked about before we went live. And thank you to everyone for giving these super chats. Let me just put them up. Gia B for the $10 super chat. God, I am God 78, just saying hi, and I hope Bill is on the mend. Thank you for what you do. I think she probably meant Joe Murray. We're going to talk about Joe in a few minutes. Brent Montgomery, a super supporter. That's $20 coming on in. Thank you so much, Brent. Jen Hale says, hello, DutyRon and Dave. Dave, I got to tell you, you are a fan of the crowd here loves you and what your organization does. And you know what? Rightfully so. You are out there. I'm wearing my Lost is Not Alone wristband. I wear this night and day, and I never take it off. I even shower with it, and some of the ladies say, ooh, DutyRon, that's a little too much information. But I don't take it off because that's how invested I am in bringing the Lost home. And I can tell you, like you said, we spend hours a day on the phone. And, those hours aren't just shooting the shit. We're talking about this case. We're talking about other cases. The boys in California, Maya Miliete. We have cases that you have dealt with recently down in Atlanta. There's tons and tons of information that we exchange behind the scenes. It doesn't need to be aired out in laundry on YouTube. You want to talk a little bit about the importance of keeping things private and the element of surprise? It is, I feel, before we get into that, Denise Spalding, $100 super chat. All of the super chats here tonight are going straight to Equusearch Midwest. So I have nothing but love, says Denise Spalding. Listen, Dave and I have nothing but love right back to you. Thank you so much for that $100 super chat. Also, JoJo Peanut comes in for Equusearch support. Look at that, Dave. She comes in with a $20 and a lot of 100% hugs, love, and respect. Talk about what we do behind the scenes and how important it is for our planning and what we do. It takes hours and hours to plan a mission. We haven't forgotten about Summer Wells. What goes on behind the scenes? You are the director of Equusearch Midwest, but you have your search coordinator and now your law enforcement coordinator as well. Tell the audience of what goes on.
Again, it's a well-oiled machine, and again, we're all on the same page, and that's what makes this work. So basically, when we do talk on the phone, it's the planning that goes into this search. As every search does. There's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people have to sit there and be on the same page, because if we're not on the same page, this isn't going to work, and that's what makes our success. So successful is that we do plan everything out, and we do everything according to what we're supposed to with law enforcement. And I think that's why we have the respect of law enforcement across the country, is because that we do things by the book. And with you, Ron, being a retired detective, that only strengthens this organization, only for the simple reason that you know how to talk the talk as far as with these other law enforcement agents, and they listen, and that's a huge thing. I mean, we can go out and we can do the search, but it's getting their attention, getting their approval that makes this a success. And again, we have never stopped, because you haven't seen me in a while, or we haven't talked about it in a while. For God's sakes, please don't think that we have ever stopped for the common goal. Let's just put the other BS to the side with everything else that's going on with this case. Again, we are focused on finding this little 5-year-old girl, and that's always been our mission, as always it will be. So again, it starts with me, then it trickles down to Twila, which is the search coordinator. Then we start sitting there putting everything else together that needs to go into this, from drones to foot searchers to mapping. Again, I can't even tell you how many hours per day. And this isn't the only case. I mean, this time last week, we were bringing home a 21-year-old kid that committed suicide up in Centerville, Ohio. It takes a toll on you, but again, that family knows where their loved one is. So, we found him in 48 minutes, I think it was. Again,
that was amazing. I don't mean to cut you off, Dave, because I hate to do this, but to find somebody in a 48-minute time frame, talk about how that is. I mean, it's difficult at best. These searches sometimes take days, months, weeks, sometimes 2 years. So to come up with closure for a family in 48 hours is impeccable. That is outstanding work, and that goes to your team, and for the communication and the working together with law enforcement. And that's what's so important, is like, as a retired New York City police detective, I felt in my eyes that I can lend my expertise to Equusearch Midwest, because I bridge the gap between the communication of a civilian, as like yourself, a civilian, to as a retired police officer and law enforcement professional. I can open up the doors, and it doesn't always work with every organization, but it certainly helps when you have that brotherhood, the brotherhood, and we could talk about this all day long, but you and I both know, because you've been working with law enforcement for decades, for years, when the brotherhood, when you reach out and say, hey, I want to help you, when it's coming from someone who did and walked the walk and did the job, it's almost like they embrace you a little bit more. And I hate to say it, is because when you have civilians, it's hard to communicate because you're not thinking on the same lines as them. And that's where I felt like I could come in. I'm not an expert searcher. I'm not an expert at drones. I'm not an expert at cutting through the weeds, but I'm expert at speaking to law enforcement, because I worked in the trip team. So I had to work with outside agencies on a regular basis. It was part of my job. So when I saw you and we started meeting, I said, frick, hold on. I said, I can help Dave. I said the F word. I said, I can help Dave, not freak. I said the F you. I can help Dave because I know how to talk with the guys. I know the lingo. I know how to, kind of schmooze with my fellow counterparts. And we're seeing the fruits of that labor working here, not only just with our boys in California, but with Summer Wells. We have an open line of communication with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. We're going to be working with TBI, and we're going to do whatever they need us to do. Right, Dave? You're there to provide any assistance with the resources that you have. It is a smaller department like this, and I'm not dogging Hawkins County because they are working with what they got, right? And they don't have really unlimited resources. So you're out there. There was people who send me emails. Oh, doesn't Equusearch send a bill? Talk about that, Dave. Do you send a bill to these law enforcement agencies?
No, absolutely not. We go on, donations, and it's people like that listen. Your listeners have absolutely made a huge difference in what we are able to do, in the technology that we're able to obtain through those donations. For the travel, for the gas. We just spent $1,400 on 4 batteries for Gene's drones that are a necessity for us moving forward on Summer's case. So, law enforcement and will never sit there and send a family a bill, because they have already, as Tim Miller says, they have paid the ultimate price, and there's no way. So again, and we know how taxed that the law enforcement agents are. And the living proof of this is look at what they just went through down in Hawkins County, and in the amount of money that they spent on the first 14 days of putting Summer's search on. So they spent money that they probably really didn't even have. So that's where we come in with our resources. That's where we come in with I've always said, if I don't have it, I'm going to, if I need a kitchen sink, I'll go to Lowe's and I'll go buy one, and I'll throw that damn thing in too. So, yeah. I mean, whatever we have, or whatever we don't have, I'll go get, period.
Dave, again, Trevor Lee, who is a young 19-year-old college student, he put up $2,000 of his own money for the reward money. I'm going to include a link down below, as I do with all my videos, for the Civis Bank. That is the reward fund for information leading to not just her recovery, but leading to her recovery, no questions asked. Also, if an arrest comes of that is also a bonus. But we are really interested in bringing Summer Wells home. So Trevor Lee just sent in a $20 super chat, and I'm going to click on it again so we can highlight it, because I really have so much respect for this kid. He is 19 years old, but he's 8 years above his age in respect and with maturity. So here he is. Trevor Lee says, I'm sending a $20 super chat, chipping in my part to this great organization. So much love for you both, you both. 2 wonderful men I look up to more than you know. And I'm going to have Trevor Lee come back on the show to talk about his feelings, because he's a local kid who's living this out. Okay, for a 20-year-old to see a 5-year-old vanish off the face of the earth in his community, it's got to be devastating to him. And he spent his time creating a a nonprofit for the Gabby. I'm not gonna get it right, but it's Gabby. I don't remember the last name, so forgive me, Trevor. But it's the Gabby Foundation. I'm gonna link it down below in the description. But for Trevor to see this, he is hurting. He is hurting, and he's praying with his church. He's praying with his friends. So thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Heidi Lee is here, and she has nothing but love and respect for you and your organization, Dave. Again, like you said, we spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on equipment. You know, we're talking about when you travel, hotels, airfare. There's a lot of things we bring in. Gene Robinson is going to be in and assisting us from time to time. So we got to fly this gentleman in, and you know, you can't ask him to pay out of his own pocket because he's donating his time, he's donating his efforts. Bobby Cat, thank you, DutyRon. You inspired me to join Equusearch. Send them an email today. Thank you for all you do. Bobby Cat, thank you for that email. And guys, if you want to donate directly to Equusearch Midwest, here's the banner. I'm going to put it on there. It's going to roll right down at the bottom of the screen. All you got to do is click on that. That's the PayPal straight to Linda Boomer. I encourage you guys to support this organization because unlike all of the hoopla that's out there and the people that are just talking and blowing smoke up your you know what, these are doers. These are guys and gals who are doing God's work. Dave Rader, Twila Cisco. There's too many to mention. I can go down a list. Dave has sent me the roster. There is literally dozens and dozens of men and women that are mothers, that are homemakers, that are caregivers. I mean,
all walks of life.
All walks of life, and they give up their time. I was willing to this weekend, if all the stars were aligned right, but we had a little bit of a snafu, I was ready to travel 20 hours in my vehicle to come and assist in the recovery of Summer Wells. And we're going to continue to do this. We're not giving up. And like Dave said, he lives and breathes this. There's nights that he doesn't sleep. This is a man who is 110% invested on bringing the missing home. Lost is not alone. He lives that. He's got a tattoo on his back. I'm not going to make this man get up because he already did it once before, but he has a tattoo on his back that says Lost is not alone. And he's got Tim Miller's daughter's name tattooed on his back. Folks want to know, how is Tim Miller doing? Have you spoken with Tim? I haven't spoke to him in a little while. I'd love to get him on. I know we're going to get him on with us. We talked about this. How is Timmy doing?
Far as I know, he's doing real well. He's doing a lot better than what he was. Last time I spoke with him was probably last week sometime. But again, he's like us. The phone never stops. So we're just continuing on going from one to another to another to another. But let me go back to Trevor for a second. If we ever go back down, and when we go back down, it's not a matter of if, it's when we go back down, I want this kid, I want to meet this kid. I want to give that kid a hug, because you don't find 19-year-old kids with that kind of spunk and heart and faith anymore. And that kid is, that kid's, he's going to do some great things in his life. Geez, I can't even imagine at 19. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, but here he is spearheading several different things, and you know, that's an amazing kid. And when we go back down there, Trevor, if you're listening, please, you will know when we're in town for sure. And I want you to come, and because I want to meet you personally and shake your hand and give you a hug.
He's unbelievable. I'm going to just play a little clip of Trevor here. I have it saved in my notes. So basically, 19-year-old. Let me just share this screen real quick. Share. There we go. I want everybody to see this because I think it's important. Like I said, I mean, a 19-year-old kid. I'm going to go full screen with it. So it's a 19-year-old ETSU. That's the student of, I believe it's Tennessee, University of Tennessee State. It's like a state college. Student donates $2,000 to search for Summer Wells. And then it goes on to talk about a 19-year-old East Tennessee State University student donated $2,000 of his own money to the Church Hill Rescue Squad. for any credible tips that come in regarding a 5-year-old missing Summer Wells. Trevor Lee said, as time continues to pass without answers on this child's whereabouts, the situation becomes more worrisome. And that is well said, Trevor Lee. He also works with the child care during his summer break. He said that he made the donation because he wanted to pay, play his part. He wanted to do his part in this and hopefully get those answers that everybody is looking for. When Summer went missing, it quickly caught my eye, says Trevor. Being in our community and having seen the other tragedies that have happened to children in the past couple of years in our region, Trevor Lee said he was compelled to go and donate. Lee said the money came from his personal savings account, and he felt compelled to make a donation to help in the continued search for Summer Wells. I also sent a donation for $500 to the reward fund for Civis Bank, and I'm going to make a donation to Trevor Lee's foundation. I'm going to find that, and I know I have it saved here. I feel like it's what needs to be done, says Trevor Lee. We need to get some answers for Summer, and I just hope that anybody out there that has information or any sort of information will bring it forward and get Summer Wells home, because I feel that that's the goal for everyone in this community. We all want Summer home. And that's how the community feels at this point. You know, again, I'll come back to me and Dave. This is a kid, 19 years old, many, many years in maturity above his age. And I got, like I said, I got chills when I read this. And I did a whole dedicated broadcast for Trevor Lee. And that is in my, if you go to my Summer Wells playlist, it's in there. I'm almost compelled to play a little bit of it because he was sitting in his car and he basically told me about his foundation that he started. It was based on a girl, a friend of his, that was murdered by her own father. And he started this foundation for domestic violence. And it's a nonprofit. And he started it based on the back of his friend who was murdered at the hands of her own father. So for those of you who saw that interview that I did with Trevor Lee, let me know by putting a hands up in the chat if any of you here caught. I know a lot of my subscribers, a lot of my friends caught that video. It was just a very moving and compelling video. He was having trouble with his internet, and as you know, Dave, down there it's spotty on the internet.
At best.
Yeah, but at best. And Trevor hung in with me, and he was sweating. Sweat was coming down his brow. And he was like, DutyRon, I love what you and Dave Rader are doing and what everybody's doing. And I've communicated with him quite a bit. And he said when we make it down there, he wants to see. So quite a few hands are coming up. Jen Hale says she saw it. Carol saw it. Sam saw it. Everybody's saying thank you to Trevor. Welcome in from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much. Trevor Lee is right here. There he is. Hey, Trevor, if I throw you out the link, would you join me and Dave? Dave, would you like to have Trevor come on?
Absolutely. I think that would be phenomenal.
Trevor, I'm going to share the link with you to your cell phone. If you can join us, I don't know if you can, but it would be beautiful to have you come on. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the community on YouTube is feeling about Don Wells in a few minutes. But before I do that, I'm going to try to get Trevor Lee on here. Let's see if DutyRon can play some magic. Dave, let's talk about some of the challenges of what we have going on with not just Summer Wells, with the boys over in California and some of the other searches. It seems like we have so many different moving parts, like how when you're available, when I'm available, when Twila's available, and we need law enforcement to be on the same page with us. Some people don't understand it. They think that just the family could say, oh, come on down, and it's not as easy as that. We kind of need law enforcement to give us the what do we want to call it, the blessing, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing is that we have so many moving parts, and we all have jobs. We all have jobs that we have to go make money and bring home for families, for each of our families and to survive. So I mean, it's not as easy as just, if I was fully retired and I had nothing else to do, this would be phenomenal. But the problem is that as much as I would love to do this full time, financially, it's just not going to happen. But again, we spend every waking moment juggling. It's a dance. It's a hand in glove. So I mean, it's not only, okay, I'm good for this weekend. What about you? No, you can't. Well, then let's try to figure this out. So with so many people that are involved and so many people that are a part of this, like I said, it's very difficult to sit there and put all of this together and do this the right way. I mean, we could sit there and say, let's just go search the woods and let's call it a day. But if you're not going to put some thought process in this, you're not going to be successful. That I can guarantee you. And everybody thinks, well, just walk the roadway. We'll just kind of move a bush here and there. No, it's not that easy. It's not like it's like it is on TV. This you literally get in. I mean, the stuff that we were in last weekend. I mean, burrs. The people that were back in the woods that deep. They actually ruined their shirts because they can't get the burrs off of it. That's how deep this kid was. So if people think that this is just a walk in the park and on a path, it's nothing like that. I wish it was. I wish I didn't even have to do this. But there's a lot that goes on to this. And again, I wish I could tell you more about how, and show you more. But with an ongoing investigation, unfortunately, I can't do that. But after it's said and done, to share some videos, if we would go back down there just to show the terrain of what we are doing and going through, I think people would be absolutely shocked of the mountainous terrain and what's down there. Chris, our drone guy that's down there, he got firsthand. Right. He was flying a drone down there, and he lives down there. His signal got lost on the drone, and he literally had to go into the woods and traverse this. And he says, Dave, he says, I thought I was going to have to call you guys to come find me. So, it's when and again, people think, oh, cell phones, this, that, and the other. The last time I was down there, I didn't even have satellite radio. That's how sporadic this truly is.
Right. Yeah. And I found the Gabby Foundation. I was right. I knew it wasn't anything more than the Gabby Foundation. So this is the foundation that he started. I'm going to go full screen with it. So it's the Gabby Foundation. Love and like Gabby. I'm going to go into the about section here. And it says a community of people who want to pave a way for every child and woman to feel safe while honoring our heavenly angels. And the contact is right there. This is the contact for the Gabby Foundation. And it gives you a bunch of news and updates. And Trevor Lee is updating this regularly. And there's so many little sections. I encourage you guys to go to thegabbyfoundation.com. I will link it down below in my description. But this is started by Trevor Lee. And this is a great domestic violence outreach website, and it's bringing noticeability. And I'm going to go to the Facebook page while you guys are here. So this is the Gabby Foundation, charitable organization, and it's just a chock full of stuff. I encourage you guys to go over there and support it. Trevor Lee is behind it, and I greatly appreciate everything that he is doing as a young man. God bless you. I sent him the link, and he said he'll join in a couple of moments. He's got to get to a place where he's got good Wi-Fi. He's like, hold on, let me scurry for a spot. While he's scurrying, Dave, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Okay, I've been showing off the wristbands and some of my swag. people want to buy these wristbands. We need to try to get some of these wristbands. I beg of you to get some. Maybe I can, if you want, you could put it on me. I'll go and get them, and I'll have Josh make them exactly like this. And it's a great fundraiser. It's up to you because you're the boss. You're the operations director. A lot of my subscribers want these wristbands. By a show of hands in the chat, who would be willing to pay, like, say, $5 or $10 for one of these wristbands to support Equusearch's mission? If you are interested in it, put a 1 in the chat and let us know so we could see. And maybe we can expand it to T-shirts of some sort or things of that nature. But we'll keep it simple right now. With these wristbands are what can support the mission, the statement to finding the missing. Lost is not alone. A lot of number ones are coming up. We're getting flooded with number ones. Coffee Lady, Stephanie, Joanne, Wendy, Dawn, Brenda, Dusty Blue, Nancy Eileen, holy sweet mother of Jesus. Facebook user is saying yes, fractional breakdown. All right, there's hundreds of people who want to buy these. And even if it was $10 a pop, because we'd have to pay to ship them out, $10 a pop, I think, is a great way to bring a fundraising for Equusearch. So we're gonna try to make these things, and get them in stock. What do you think, Dave?
I think it's a wonderful idea. We are actually working on this to facilitate that. So we, there's a lot of, again, it's another piece of the puzzle that we're moving. Not only the cases are more important right now, but there are some great individuals, some great members that's behind me that actually are taking the ball and running with that. So we just got to figure out the logistics. I can get those to you, and then we can try to figure out how can we get them to your listeners under their arms. So getting those to you, Ron, is not a big deal. I can have them drop shipped right to you. Not a big deal. I think the turnaround time is usually a week to 2 weeks from when we order it to when we get them.
Right.
I will speak with Linda.
Okay, good.
And see if we can if we can't make this happen. And then I think that we're going to try to start an online store through the website for t-shirts. So
that'd be great.
It's coming.
Okay, good. So everybody who has been sending me inquiries about it, we are going to work on that. I think $10 is a good selling point because it's all going to go straight to funding Searching for Missing, and not just Summer Wells, all the missing that were out there. Because like we talked about, we are working on numerous cases and phone calls coming every day. I want you to talk about how, I know Tim made a statement last time he was on with us. He said, come into my office and answer the phones just for a 24-hour period. What's it like, Dave, for you over at Equusearch Midwest, the Ohio chapter, with folks calling into you? What type of traffic do you got coming in on a regular basis? Let the folks know.
I've probably got, between the emails and probably the phone calls, I average about 10 to 15 a day.
Wow.
It's that's families, that's law enforcement calling. Like I said, last week after I got back from Atlanta, we literally, we had one to do up in Dayton, and I literally got home from Dayton, and another municipality right outside of Dayton called me up, and 45 minutes to an hour, I was back up in Dayton to try to help them on a case. And then 2 days later, we had the kid that went, he walked away from his house on that Wednesday. I got the call on Friday, and we recovered him on Saturday morning. So it's exhausting. But, when you hear a mother or a father or a sister or a brother sit there, you can hear their pain in their voice for help because they had nowhere else to turn to. Man, you can't walk away from that. I don't care. You can be the toughest SOB in the world, and unless you're born without a damn heart, you're going to try your damnedest to to facilitate whatever it is to help that family out. So I hope to God that I never have to say no to a family.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is just like the phone never stops ringing. But we're human beings, and we don't have unlimited resources. But at the end of it all, we are compassionate towards the cause. So we don't like to say no to anybody. And our boys, Orrin and Orson West in California City, there's the Bakersfield 3 that the sheriff and the police department in Bakersfield, they asked us to come down there and do some searching. We're in the process of working on that. But before we get into that, I want to get Trevor in real quick, because he's just joining. So Trevor Lee, thank you so much, kid, for coming in. Dave, there's Trevor. I'm going to let you guys say hello to each other.
Hi, Trevor.
Hey, Dave, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you what, you're a force to be reckoned with, brother.
I appreciate you. I'll say the same about both of you guys.
Well, at 19 to do what you're doing, there's not many men out there, and at 19, you're one hell of a man, brother.
I appreciate you a lot.
I feel like we're doing it with Tim Miller again. When he was doing it from the car, he was so.
Yeah, he's in the car, but that's what he had to do. He had to run out to get some good Wi-Fi or a good signal, and it was better than what we have. The last time he came on, he kept banging in and out. Trevor, I want to just say to you that I showed the Gabby Foundation. I hope you don't mind that I shared your website here on the live stream, and I hope I got it right. Did I get it right for you, kid?
You did. And I really appreciate it. I was in the process of getting my headphones actually when you pulled that up, and I saw that.
Yeah. Any way that you could put like a light on, maybe your interior light in your vehicle, or are you outside? Are you outside?
Hold on.
Oh, he's outside. Okay, he's outside. All right, that's better. Excellent.
There you go.
We got you, kid. Now we can see you. All right. Listen, I just want you to talk a little bit about what the feeling is from the community. I know you live right outside of the Ben Hill Road community. Just let some of the listeners, there's like 1,700 folks watching, let some of the folks know what everyone's feeling about Summer Wells in the community, if you could, in a very condensed version.
Okay, well, honestly, the chatter that I'm getting from a lot of people here is a lot of exhaustion from people. People are just kind of, not through hearing about it, but with how many rumors and fake books, as you call it, as the things have come through that don't hold any merit, people are just getting frustrated because everybody has the same goal of Summer coming home, and hearing all this drama being stirred up and things like that that just take away from the real mission just kind of is bringing everybody down in the way that everybody's just wanting to see her come home, of course, and see her recovered, see an arrest, see justice, whatever has to come about to have closure on the situation.
Yeah, Trev, and I value your thoughts, because and listen, I'm 57 years old. When I call you kid, that means I'm calling you kid because it's like a love. It's almost like a loving thing. I'm not calling you kid to talk down to you. I'm just calling you kid because I'm 57 and you're 19. But Trevor, the people that are watching, it is so important for them to get a feel for what's going on in the community. And I know that the great folks of Hawkins County, Sullivan County, Washington County, all the adjoining counties, there's not anybody out there that doesn't want to bring Summer home or find out what happened to her. It's tugging at everybody's hearts, right? We're praying every Saturday and all of the prayer days for her safe return. And we know that as the days go on, it's making it more difficult. But guys like this guy right here, Dave Rader, to my right, he has one mission, and the mission is to bring the missing home. So we're on the case, and we're working behind the scenes with law enforcement. We're trying to coordinate some searches and some drone searches for Summer Wells and some of the other cases that we're handling. And when we do come down there, as Dave said, he wants to come give you a big hug. I want to give you a big bear hug and say thank you to you personally for all you've done. I know I sent you over $500 and you went over to Civis Bank and deposited that money for the reward money. Do you have any idea of what we're up to? Because I don't have any clarity from Tim Coop. Do we know around what that reward money is up to? Is it like 50 something thousand, Trev?
So the last report that was out this week was 38,000. I believe one of the major checks that had been put in had been pulled or is being held privately by the person that wrote the check, so it wasn't directly deposited. But all the direct deposited money is up to 38,000.
So 38,000, and then there's that one outstanding big check that was pulled, I think, by that guy. I forgot his name. I had him in the thing. Okay, so and then after 6 months, is it still standing true that the money will be redirected to? I don't remember what they said. Didn't they say after 6 months that if there was nobody that came forward that the money would be redirected, or am I wrong on that?
No, you're right. So after 6 months, all of the money in the fund will go to the Children's Advocacy Center of Sullivan County.
So the Children's Advocacy Center for Sullivan County, which will go towards more missing or abused children. Is that what the advocacy center is about?
Yes, and they're a great organization. We've worked with them. We held a toy drive for them to have Christmas toys delivered to children in foster care or entering foster care. And they do great things with interviewing children, keeping children safe that are possibly in abusive households, getting them the proper legal, physical, emotional care that they need. They actually worked with Gabby, who was the classmate of mine, of course, that had passed away. They had worked with her, and they work with many of kids in the community. So they're a great place for that money to go if it does end up going there.
Awesome. So it's a great thing for the money to be redirected towards. Can you talk a little bit about the Gabby Foundation? Folks want to know about it.
Sure. So we started late last year. In October of last year, my classmate Gabby and her mother were murdered by Gabby's stepfather. He had a large history of domestic violence, child abuse, had abused both of them. And when charges were set to be brought against him, he drove down back here to this area and killed the both of them. He had been out of the household for about 6 months. So we got together and made this foundation just to do what we could to raise awareness for these incidents that happen way too often to women and children, and to hopefully make a change through legislation, through prevention, just in getting word out in the community.
Can you talk about the Gabby Act, written by Trevor Lee on behalf of Gabby and Christina Kennedy's beautiful family? I have it up on the screen here. I'm going to go full screen with it.
Yes, so I had delved into the statutes and laws in our state regarding child abuse and domestic violence, because we had largely felt, after speaking to their family, that the ball was dropped, not necessarily by a person, but by just the way things are handled by the book. And we were wondering, how could we change the book to prevent situations like that? So I sat down, and after reading into the law, tried to find almost like a backbone for these departments, for small departments, including, because a lot of departments in these regions are small, like Hawkins County, like Bristol, and they don't always have the manpower or the resources necessary, but that should never end up resulting in a case like that. So we wanted to have more connection to state resources such as TBI.
Right. So this Gabby Act is a piece of legislation. You wrote this towards the legislation to have the State Department do some oversight of domestic violence and child abuse cases, correct?
Yes, and we had introduced this bill. It was filed last year in the legislature, but it got stuck in committee without a Senate sponsor. But after working with a senator and a House member this past year, we have a sponsor on each side of the House, or on each side of the state Congress. So come January, it can be filed and can be pushed through into a.
Outstanding. You know, many 19-year-olds can never even say that they've tried to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, and I tip my cap to you, even though I don't got a cap on. Trevor, again, Dave, he brings up a very good, valid point about resources and funding for Hawkins County and some of the smaller departments. We'll talk about some of the constraints that we deal with these smaller agencies and how they lean on Equusearch Midwest to help them. it's not about us coming in and taking over their investigation. It's about us helping them with a way to search for free. So I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So again, law enforcement agencies right now, they're strapped. I mean, they have no funding, for overtime. And when an emergency comes up, such as Summers, you have all this manpower that's being thrown in at this, and they don't have the funding. And the last thing that you want is them to stop searching because they ran out of money. And that's why we play a large role in this, is that we can sit there and literally, and again, I've been on, I can't even tell you how many high profile cases that we've actually used. And again, you don't get any bigger than Kaylee Anthony's, where we had 4,000 people in a matter of 3 or 4 days. And that's something that we depend upon too, is the general public. And that's something that we're very good at doing, is putting together the masses and teaching them as we go. So we can utilize the people that actually know the land the best, is that the people that live there.
Right.
So, I would love to sit there and have a general public search for this if we have enough areas and if we're allowed to. But again, it's a stepping stone. We have to prove ourselves, and this is a step at a time. But, my goal is to change this across the country, is utilize your smaller search groups that don't cost you anything, but have a wealth of toys in their toy box to use. Why wouldn't you want to use somebody that absolutely cost you zero? Throw it in, put the egos aside. We don't need egos in a case like this. Take the manpower, utilize it. It could be between life and death. And that's the one thing that I try to convey to these, is timing is everything. And you have to have a contingency plan. So right now, if I was the sheriff and if I was the EMA in that county, I would be planning for the next one, and how are we going to utilize the resources? What have we learned from this? So the next time we don't have any, it's seamless. It's like a zipper. So there's so much to be learned from this to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's learning curves left and right. And again, an organization like Equusearch Midwest, Equusearch in Texas, they don't send the bill at the end of their search, whether the search goes for 2 days or 5 days or a month. They'll never get a bill locally. And drone searches, sonar in the water, ground searches, aviation from the drones and the helicopter kind of views, those are invaluable, because we heard Gene Robinson tell us a drone can cover hundreds of miles that would take days or weeks for ground searches to accomplish. So it's an amazing a tool in the toolbox for us. And I think that we are leaning more towards that in these long, large mass areas, like in the desert and in some of the rural areas where it's just, wide open space. Instead of just taking 20, 30 people, and that costs money to take 20 or 30 people to come and do ground searches, where you could take one pilot to throw up the whirlybird and send the bird out there and do the ground coverage. So it's a great thing. Trevor, everyone's in the chat sending you accolades. I don't know if you were looking at the chat, but you got quite a fan base here. And for those of you who want to support the Gabby Foundation, I'm going to link Trevor's foundation in the description, along with Equusearch, as I always do. But I'm also going to link the Civis Bank. It's important that we donate and get this reward fund up over $100,000. If we can get over $100,000 in reward money, I think someone's going to step forward and say, hey, I know what happened here with Summer Wells, and I think these people who are responsible for it, these heads, should be brought to justice. And I'm hoping that we can get more money towards that reward fund. Money sometimes is the root of all evil, but it also can be the root of bringing evil to justice. So let's get that reward money up in that fund. Trevor, anything else you got for the troops? I know it was been a long time since we talked, but anything else? I mean, I know you're excited that to see us come back down there. How's things going with you with school? And let's talk a little bit about Trevor Lee here.
Sure, things are going great. Just finished my second week over at ETSU. Got a new apartment to stay down there, so I'm staying in that area, just down the road from Washington County, Hawkins County, that area. And I'm doing great. Just keep pushing on the foundation, and I appreciate all the kind words in the chats. Sometimes it takes sad situations like this, but together as a community and as a world, we can change the way things are done and change the world for people that need it the most.
Amen, kid. Amen, Trev. I couldn't have said it any better. That was great statement there. I look forward to meeting you firsthand in person when I do come down there, and I will keep you personally up to date on what we're doing, and if and when we get down into Hawkins County or Sullivan or wherever we're going to be, I will definitely give you notification. Just keep it close to yourself. Don't put it out there, because we don't want to advertise when we're coming.
Always.
But we are coming. That's for sure. So I definitely want to meet you, shake your hand, and maybe share a couple of laughs and a couple of stories with you, Trevor, if that would be all right with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate both of you a lot, and I look forward to meeting both of you in person.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Anything for the kid?
What can you say? I mean, that is he's.
I got one of these for you, Trev. I'm bringing this for you, kid. I got an extra one. Dave
Awesome.
gave me a couple extra. So
Absolutely.
all right, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you coming porch side with us, and I hear the crickets in the background, and everybody's putting a lot of love and respect to you and your family and the Gabby Foundation.
Thank you. All love to you guys and your great listeners. I appreciate being on here.
Thank you, Trev. Have a good night, bud.
You too.
Take care.
See you, brother.
What a great kid, man. Oh,
Wow.
An inspiration to many adults. I mean, he's got a message that can teach folks who are many years above his age. So
yeah,
God bless him. I want to talk a little bit about Joe Murray, our favorite criminal defense attorney. Joe Murray, as we know, him and Twila have been suffering from COVID-19, and so is Josh, my producer from California. But Joe Murray, out of the three, has gotten the worst of it. Michelle, thank you for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you for that donation. Joe Murray is hospitalized. He was admitted to the hospital 2 days ago, and he's getting treatment for COVID-19 complications. He's having a hard time with breathing, coughing. His better half, Angela, is here in the chat. We want to send prayer emojis and hearts to Joe Murray for his 100% recovery. We love and respect Joe. He is, like I said, one of our favorite criminal defense attorneys and retired police officer. Joe Murray is loved by all. So let's send him some hearts and prayer emojis in the chat. I know Dave has been asking me about Joe on a regular basis. So has Twila. Twila was very sick, and she's on the mend now, and she was having a hard time too. But you know what? It didn't stop her from the phone calls every day, sometimes 5 a day. Twila would call me and just ask me, bounce things off of me. She's got Dave on the phone. She's making those locks of Dave's hair just grow out, and it's just whoosh, making his head explode. But Dave, you know that Twila is somebody who can't be held down. She's a ball of fire. I mean, talk about the vigor that Twila exhibits on a daily basis.
Let me do this, because for some reason I lost the sound to you guys.
Okay.
Let me leave and come back in, and then I'll answer that question.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Dave had to leave, and he's going to come back. He lost the sound because he got a phone call. But yeah, so Joe Murray has been, he's hospitalized. He's in the hospital. Diane B., good to see you. Thank you for joining. Kerry Brush, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you to Equusearch. You do so many great things. Also praying for Joe and Team Maya. Where is Summer? Amen to that. Dave, you got us back?
Got you back.
All right. Yeah, I wanted you to talk a little bit about the vigor and Twila's drive for bringing home the missing. Just talk a little bit about her to the audience, because some of the folks might not know about how dedicated she is to this organization.
She's 100% invested in everything that she does. I mean, she is she's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, when she gets her mindset on something, it's almost like a pit bull on a bone. You're not going to you're not going to be able to take it away from her. And usually, you know, again, when I first met Twila and she came on, and we were literally doing a training exercise, and I've never seen anybody that goes with a gut feeling and sticks with it. And when she went with her gut feeling on something, it actually panned out to where she found what we were looking for. So, and you can't teach that. So that's, you know, that we're very blessed to have her in a search coordinator position down in Tennessee. She's very instrumental. She's loved by all. Again, we have our differences, as we always do, but again, at the end of the day, she does this for the right reason. And you know, she's a great asset to this team for sure.
And I could see that firsthand by just me being around you guys for a short period of time. The dedication that's shown by everybody and the actual heart that goes into the conversations is like, it's like nothing I can really describe here. Though I can't even find words for it, because the heart that goes into the conversations, and these are conversations that we'll never put out on YouTube because it's all behind the scenes stuff. And you know, Twila made mention on a couple of other people's live streams and in their comment sections, like the work that DutyRon and Dave Rader does behind the scenes will never be known by everybody, because the man hours that are put into planning and talking about these cases, it's just mind blowing that folks think that this stuff just happens overnight. It's a team effort, and like you said, it's always great to have other people to bounce ideas off of. And I think you and I both gel really good with throwing out throwing out ideas, and that's what makes a team really work good. And I'm so honored and thankful that you have asked me to come aboard with you guys. And I think that, you know, the talent that I have is, although it's a small thing, it is an intricate part. It's an important piece of making this thing work really good. So as we get into this, we talk about some of the additional things that came out with Don talking about some of his previous history in a sexual nature. And you know what? As far as Equusearch goes, we as crude as this might sound, and as cold as this might sound, we're not really concerned about his criminal activities and behaviors. What's most important and what's at the forefront for Equusearch, and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong, what's at the forefront for us is to bring the missing home and find Summer Wells, bring her home so she can have a proper funeral and burial, and to let her rest in peace. We don't care about people's past criminal histories. We're not looking to solve cases. We're not looking to arrest anybody. We're looking to bring the missing home. And Dave, you want to expand on that a little bit? Am I hitting the right points here?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we don't have a lot of time to put into Don's past. You know, again, I'm not going to say anything bad about Don. Don is Don. He's going to do what he wants to do. My thing is to him is let's put the BS aside and let's work more towards trying to find your daughter, and let's work towards the common goal. Again, I have nothing against Don. Don's never done anything to me. You know, he's said some things about me. We've talked privately. We hash those out, and he knows where what my goal is, and hopefully he's on the same page as what the rest of us are, is to find his daughter.
Yeah.
So everything else is right now. I just don't have enough. I don't have enough mind left to sit there and worry about what the hell he did, years and years ago. I think it sucks.
Right.
But again, right now, my present mind thought is to find this little girl, and that's and my mind has not lost that track at all, and nor is it. It's going to be in the forefront, and that's my goal.
Right. And again, we're not concerned about what the past history or the current history is of Don or Candus. We really are concerned about finding out what happened to Summer Wells and bringing her home. We want to find her.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal of Equusearch Midwest. That's the goal of Equusearch Texas, Equusearch. Any of the folks that are out there volunteering, boots on the ground, they have a mission, and it's one mission and one mission only: to bring the missing home. And Lost is Not Alone is what we talk about on a regular basis. And to get to that, we don't solve criminal cases. We leave that up to law enforcement, and that's what active duty law enforcement is. That's their job. That's what they're being paid for. That's what your tax dollars are at work for. The TBI, the FBI, the Hawkins County Sheriff, and anybody else who's involved in it, they need us to help them find her, but they don't need us to help them solve their case.
Right.
So that's a thing that could frustrate a lot of folks. But again, at the end of the day, that's what Dave Rader and his team, and I'm part of that team. That's what the mission statement.
And let's not forget about Bill Cannon.
Yeah, and Bill Cannon. He's an intricate part of the team. Billy has got so many years of law enforcement expertise, but he is also a smart fella. He's definitely an asset to any kind of mind, putting our minds together and putting the ideas together. Bill can really bring up a lot of great things. And Sergeant Bill Cannon has got so much expertise and experience in finding missing and investigating missing. His mind alone, the way he thinks, is instrumental in helping us put together a plan. So I can't say enough about Bill. And I had a conversation with him today about Summer Wells and what we want to do. And we'll get, I'm not going to put that out here, but we're going to be getting together with the team and putting together a plan. And I'm looking forward to going out to California as well. I've talked to you about that. We can't forget about our boys out there. And Maya Miliete, she's been missing for quite a long time. And they've gotten no closer in that case. I'm looking forward to heading out to the West Coast and trying to bring some folks home over there. And those boys, our little babies, Oren and Orson West, and the Bakersfield 3, we're in contact, and we got an open line of communication with the Bakersfield PD. And I think that was also one of the things that I feel confident in, that I was helped to bridge that gap, the little gap that we had in communication. So if you don't mind, Dave, I'd like to take a couple of questions from the audience. If you have any questions towards Dave and Equusearch, put them in there. Any of the super chats will be highlighted. All of the donations and super chats and PayPals that come into the DutyRon Crime Time family will be redirected to Equusearch Midwest. And if you want to directly donate to Equusearch Midwest, here is the donation link. That's the PayPal. It'll go straight to his chapter. And this is their website, equusearchmidwest.org. There'll be a link on there to donate. And if you go to their Facebook page, there is a pinned message on their Facebook page for you to donate directly. That's the best way to do it, guys. But anything that comes through to me, I will redirect. Thank you, King of Kings, for the God bless you, DutyRon. Nancy Eileen is here. Thank you. Zia TC putting up the prayer emojis. Let's bring summer home. Yeah, let's do it. That's what we're here for. Wishing all could meet up in Tennessee. I'll listen to this message. Denise Pennington. Wish we all could meet up in Tennessee, pass out flyers, and protest for summer's return. I pray that there will be a big trafficking bust in Tennessee soon. TBI has done so much work with that. So amen to that. I'm not a big protest guy because I think that, words, and actions speak louder than words. But again, I respect everyone's opinions on things like that. I just feel that we get a lot more done by making politicians and the political leaders writing letters and doing things and pushing them to do more. We need our law enforcement agencies across the United States to do more because we're falling short on our youngins. The young folks are we're letting them down. I could say that. As a retired law enforcement professional, I think that more can be done. There's no question about it. Let me get up there to the super chat. $5 comes in from Tina Bambina. Will the search be a recovery search? I'd have to say, and if you're asking me my opinion, I would say at this point we're looking at a recovery. Dave, anything on that?
No, again, but here's the thing is, Ron, is that I love her enthusiasm as far as, is there a possibility that she could still be alive? We have to look at J.C. Dugard out in California. We have to look at Elizabeth Smart. J.C. Dugard was 29 years. Elizabeth Smart was 9 months.
Right.
So there's always that hope.
You hold on to it.
You hold on to a little bit, but you also have to sit there and think of reality is that we still have to cross that other bridge. And unfortunately, that's what we have to do. While they're doing the investigation, we're going to be out there pounding the woods and covering what they want us to cover in the meantime. So if it leads in the investigation, it leads them to her being alive, I applaud it, and I hope to hell that comes to fruition. But on the other hand, as we all know in statistics, if we're going to go by statistics, I think we're looking for a recovery.
Okay. Yeah, I concur. Mystery Maven says, question, this is for you, Dave. Is there a minimum age requirement to volunteer with Equusearch? Got a teenager interested in helping. 18
years of age, no exceptions. Again, it's, what we do and what we see is hard enough on adults. I would never want to subject them to what I consider a child at 17 and below. So even 18, I'm kind of leery. If we do have an 18-year-old, I kind of go through that with them as far as the possibilities of what they're about ready to see. And so 18 is basically the minimum age.
And here's the other end of that one. Censored Nana says, is there a maximum age?
As long as you've got a set of eyes and you got the heart of a lion, no, lock and load.
Yeah, look at Tim Miller. I mean, he's had some health issues and it's knocked him a bit on his butt, but he is out there like a ball of fire. So if you got the kahunas and you still have the energy, welcome, have at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always a position. If you can't physically search, there's always the command center giving out water. There's always something for everybody to do.
So Technogirl 63 says she has no faith in the TBI. And let me just say this to you, Technogirl. People were saying Chaffee County sheriffs over in Salida were corrupt, were incompetent, and that they sucked. 360 days into Suzanne Morphew's missing and disappearance, they made an arrest of her husband on first-degree murder charges. He is going to stand charges for his wife's demise. And everybody mother effed the Chaffee County sheriffs. There was a whole bunch of humble pie that was being eaten by a lot of people. So I have to say to you, I disagree with the no faith in the TBI. I've got a lot of faith in them. And I think that they are going to be doing a lot of things behind the scenes and that you will perhaps be eating a piece of humble pie, I hope, in the future. Let's move on to the next super chat. Came in from Moonlight View. She said, I'm near Cal City, lifelong equestrian specializing in trail. I am game for any help I can provide. Moonlight View, send a message to equusearchmidwest.org or send it over to DutyRon.com and I will forward it to them. Thank you for that super chat. Let me see. There's another one that came in. Tops and Tumblers send in a $10 super chat. Please help me understand why your services were rejected for summer. Our services were not rejected for summer. They were just simply said to us that we weren't needed to come back to search, but they would keep us in the loop. And now we're back in the loop, and they're asking us for some assistance. Dave, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, sometimes people can misconstrue what that we're not needed. No, we're always needed. But at some point in time, when you throw that kind of firepower at it in the beginning, and then you come up empty-handed, sometimes you have to take a step back, regroup, figure out what's the next move so you can do it logistically. Because if you're just going to continue just to spin your wheels and throw people out there just to be throwing them out there, you're really not doing yourself any good. Sometimes even in war, you have to take a step back, regroup, see what's needed, see which way the direction of this investigation is going to go. Then once they realize, okay, this is the direction. Now all of a sudden, okay, let's bring Equusearch back in. Let's bring in X, Y, Z. So it's almost a regrouping. But a lot of people that don't understand it will misconstrue that as that they don't want us, and that's not the case at all.
Right.
So it's just a matter of taking a step back, regrouping, and then moving forward from that point.
Well said, Dave. Thank you. Insanely Confused says, I met Dave when we searched for little baby Joe. Him and his team are awesome, and they deserve the praise and appreciation. Thank you, Insanely Confused.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've met so many great people on that search. I mean, like I said, I had 500 people on one road, and that's just insane in itself.
Amazing.
And then on Baby Joe's case, right in the middle of this tragedy, Daniel Baker was shot in the line of duty and killed. So, wow. There was, and Daniel Baker was on one of our search teams as a team lead. I mean, the man was just phenomenal. And then a week later, he wasn't with us anymore. So it was like a double hit for us. So not only we have this 5-year-old autistic child that is missing, and now you have one of their own that they have to lay to rest. Right. Dixon County, I'll tell you what a community that is. That's just absolutely phenomenal on how they banded together for not only Daniel but also for Baby Joe.
It's amazing how people come together. Soul for Music 79, a huge supporter and a great friend. Stupid question. I love stupid questions. So are you now part of Equusearch, DutyRon? I'm assuming so, and maybe I missed it when you said it. If so, that's fantastic. Dave, you want to take that question?
Absolutely, he is a part of this. He's an honorary member, as well as Bill Cannon and Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Phil Grimaldi. So,
Grimaldi from
yeah. I had to throw that in there. I mean,
Joe.
And if you've never know who Phil Grimaldi is, please jump over at some point in time and watch Bill Cannon's program. He's always on there. You just close your eyes for just a minute, and you'll understand what the hell I'm talking about.
So Phil Grimaldi sounds just like Joe Pesci, and he's straight out of Brooklyn. And he's part of the Equusearch team as well. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Not all of us can get out there and be boots on the ground, but he definitely will be able to serve and give us some great insight behind the scenes, law enforcement wise. Shannon Georgia Peach, I love your name. She says, thanks for Dave and crew. Do away from their own families through all terrain and weather against them. They are heroes. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Quite a bit of super chats coming in, and if I missed you on the super chat, I apologize, but just know this: we do up a tally of the super chats. We take the 30% that YouTube takes off, and then we send it straight over to Dave Rader and his team. Again, he just spent $1,400 on batteries for our whirly birds for the drones. I'm trying to get fundage up so we can send that over to him and get that money back into the coffers so we could use it for future searches and for the current searches. So Jennifer Nobles from California, she's with Orrin and Orson West and the family. She said, "Where are the boys? Let's help find Desiree Thompson." That's one of the Bakersfield 3. Help find Bailey Despot. Bakersfield 3, justice and peace for all of the moms. Yeah, Dave, we got our work cut out for us, and it's going to take some time, but we are going to get around to everybody, and we're going to be probably all over the United States in 2021 and 2022. So I'm looking forward to some travel and to bringing some closure to some of these families. Half Rudder, thank you for the $5 super chat. She says, "Ron, make some time for your lovely wife." I was out at the wineries today. I had quite a bit of vodkas with her. I had to be driven home. So I spent a great day today with the wife. But in the process of heading out to the wineries, what did I do? We had a conference call with me, Dave, Twila, and Chris, our drone operator. And we spent 35, 40 minutes on the phone talking about Summer Wells, right? So on my way out east, I had an emergency phone call that I had to let my wife, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and they all kept quiet, and they said, "This is an important thing. Take the call." Actually, when Twila said to me that she needed to talk to me and it was emergency, I told her I would call her back, and I kind of not hung up on her, but hung up quick. And my wife and my sister-in-law said, "Call her back." She said it was an emergency. So I called right back, and there we were for 35 minutes on the phone. So that's what we do. None of this stuff ever gets put on the back burner, and we do what we can. Is there any news on Alexis Sharkey case, Ron? Thank you. I'm not familiar with that case, so I wasn't covering it, so I'm not really sure about it. So Lisa D says I was in her neck of the woods. Yeah, we were out in at Danford's, Claudio's at the end of Long Island. It's at the eastern tip of Long Island in I think it's past Amagansett, but it's a beautiful place. It's just a long ass drive. It's about 2.5 hours of ride from my house to out there, but it's well worth it because it's a beautiful location. Again, I want to just quickly wrap this up, but Dave, I appreciate you taking an hour of your time out here tonight. You know, we're working together tirelessly. It's a night and day thing. And I know, Dave, you don't sleep a lot. You sleep minimal because you're thinking about what you can do. So here's one for you. Tops and Tumbler sends in a $2 super chat. And she says, "Dave, he's so ruggedly handsome. Sorry, not sorry." Ruggedly handsome, Dave.
Ruggedly handsome. Thank you, I think.
Wow. I've never heard that put that way. It sounds really nice. So thank you for that, Tops and Tumblers.
Thank you.
I hope you subscribed. Yes, she is subscribed to the channel. So thank you for that. Hello, Mark. Good to see you, Mark. Thank you for checking in. Joey Brooklyn is here. I asked people if they want to make questions. There wasn't too many questions coming in. Heidi Lee is here. She's laughing at Angela Eng. That's Joey. That's Joe Murray's better half. Factual breakdown. Tops and Tumblers say, well, Georgia Peach. She concurs. Yes, he is ruggedly handsome. Oh my. It's those locks that you have, Dave. It's those beautiful golden.
I don't even have time to cut my hair. Now all of a sudden I don't have time to shave, so I don't know what I'm doing. It's going into winter, and I was going for that ruggedly handsome look. So I'm glad that I could provide that.
Yeah. Stephanie Michelle says, "DutyRon, do you think Don will be arrested soon?" I don't know. It would just be a guess, and I'd have to say that they're working behind the scenes to figure out what happened to his daughter, and if he is remotely involved, which I think, and this is my opinion and my opinion only, that he knows what happened to his daughter, and I think so does Candus and so does Grandma and anybody that's close to them, And if TBI and the FBI and the Hawkins County sheriffs can come up with arrestable evidence, then they will be arrested. But until that time, that's a big no. They can't just go out and just randomly arrest people just because we're mad at them. So Mama She 13 sends in a $5 super chat and says, Dave, oh, there it is. A bunch of hearts in the eyes. They love Dave. Mama She 13, thank you for the super love. Dave, anything for your fan base?
I'll tell you, I just, what can I say? I'm just me. I'm nothing special. I just do the right thing, and what you see is what you get.
Yes. Moni's Smoke says, I hope all the sheds and under the house, that part where the dogs get searched, look for a secret door anywhere. Thank you for that tip. I appreciate that. Moni's Smoke, thank you so much for that. Dawn Marie, let me say a special thank you to the chat moderators. I got Dawn Marie here, Black Rose 11, Joey Brooklyn, my head moderator. He is in charge of security for the Crime Time with DutyRon family. Everybody who watches the replay, thank you. Make sure you leave comments for me, Dave, and Trevor down below. This is the official DutyRon pen. I like to show this every once in a while. There it is. DutyRon on YouTube, retired New York City police detective. I'm not sure how that's coming across. Probably not too good. But that's the DutyRon pen. I use it for my notes. And this was sent to me by Matt Sully. Don't forget, the 20-year of September 11th is coming up next Saturday, a week from today. Matt Sully sent me this custom-made patch. I want to say thank you to you for mailing this out to the house. It says City of New York. This is the police department patch. It says 9/11/2001. Never forget. Beautiful, beautiful patch by Matty Boy Sully, a Marine. Hoorah. And thank you for your dad's service. He was a captain in the NYPD. He passed away. And thank you, Matt, for your dad's service and your service to our country. Anybody else quickly before we get going? Oh, wait a minute, Dave. Tops and Tumblers comes in with a $50 super chat. Could Don's recent prank be interfering in an investigation? Thoughts on YouTubers taking the spotlight off Summer? All right, I'm going to take that because I know that's referring towards me. I would say this. Don's recent prank interfering with the investigation? No. The investigators don't pay attention to that nonsense. They are aware of it, but it's not interfering with what their focus is. And their focus is to figure out what happened to Summer Wells, where she is, what happened to her, and who did it. His bullshit and all of his shenanigans and his carrying on like a 2-year-old, that doesn't concern the Hawkins County sheriffs, the FBI, and the TBI. That is not going to interfere with the investigation. It doesn't help. But my thoughts on YouTubers taking the spotlight off of Summer, I don't have any thoughts on that because I don't pay attention to anybody but myself. What keeps me in my lane is that I pay attention to the content that I put out and not anybody else's. And I don't like to try to critique it, but you guys are all adults. You should know when there's hogwash and nonsense being said out there. And if you want to watch hogwash, nonsense, and drama, then have at it. But if you want sheer facts, if you want what's going on with the search for Summer Wells and what really counts, what really is important, tune in here. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because you'll never hear me go live playing a phone call of Don and Candus or playing any kind of nonsense like that. I think it's all bullcrap, and it just doesn't need to be happening. What needs to be happening is talking about common sense and ways that you can help. If we all are really, if you guys are all really interested in helping finding Summer Wells, you'll donate to the reward fund. You'll donate to Texas Midwest Equusearch. You'll donate to what is actively happening and helping with this investigation. You won't, listen to drama and nonsense that goes on, because that does not do anything. That does nothing to help this situation. Okay, so I always say this: that's time that you can never recover. That's wasted time. So if you want to listen to bullshit and you want to listen to nonsense, you can go and do it. We're all adults. Nobody has to hold your hand. You should know what's good, and you should know what street you should walk down, and you should know what street you shouldn't walk down. So it's common sense 101, and that's the best that I can say about that, Tops and Tumbler. And again, that Dave, that's one of your top fans right there. Tops and Tumbler says you are just a handsome fella. So thank you for that. Thank you for the $50 super chat. Thank you for becoming a member, Becky FB, new member, and Becky Gentry for the $19.99 $20 super sticker. Thank you so much for that. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Dave, any parting words for the troops?
Again, I can't thank your listeners enough for tuning in. And again, just to reiterate your thoughts on this last one, it's like, there's no drama here. There's nothing. We're not trying to create anything that's not there. This is factual. We can't go into everything that we want to get into, but all I can say is buckle up and hold on. It's we're not done.
Yeah, just stay tuned. Again, keep watching what law enforcement is putting out. Listen to your local news and local authorities. If TBI or FBI or Hawkins County comes out with an update, consider that a legit update. If you don't hear anything from them, then like the sheriff said, don't listen to it. I'm going to play a quick thing. Hey, wait a minute. Shannon Georgia Peach says, all due respect, DutyRon is very handsome.
There you go.
I got one, Dave. All right, I want to play this quick because I think this is important about what we're talking about. So let me play this quick, and we're going to be off the screen for a moment. All right. I guess I got to play this. Here we go.
8 weeks since the family of Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells reported her missing.
Law enforcement wants the public to know their investigation into Summer's disappearance is still going on tonight. Summer Wells was reported missing by her family on the evening of June 15th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert the next day. For several weeks following, hundreds of rescue personnel performed a ground search in the immediate area near her Beach Creek community home in Hawkins County. While the search not as visible as before, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today said that he and his officers have not given up on finding her.
I understand people's curiosity about where we're at in the case as far as investigation. I know people speculate, and I understand that, but they have to understand our number one goal from day one is to find Summer, and everybody's still a suspect, person of interest, however you want to put it. And we're still very intensely looking into it.
Investigators are still hoping to hear from someone that may have a critical piece of information that leads them to Summer. You're asked to submit credible information by calling 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tipstotbi@tn.gov.
So there you have it, folks. Again, he said, rumors and speculation gets nowhere, and it's not helping the case. So just pay attention to what they have. If they don't put something out, be patient, because when they do put something out, then you're going to really want to listen to it. Again, we want everybody to keep Summer in the spotlight. We want all the missing, Orrin and Orson West, Sincere and Classic out in Bakersfield. We want Maya Miliete. We want to speak about all of the folks who are outstanding out there. The more we speak about them, the more attention that they get. So at the end of the day, that's how you can help. Share this video. Make sure you subscribe to DutyRon on all things social media, all one word, DutyRon. Go over to DutyRon.com where you can find one-stop shopping for Equusearch, all of my links for domestic violence, crimes against children, computer crimes, and a whole host of great information and resources. I think even Trevor Lee is, his Gabby Foundation is pinned up on my DutyRon.com. Just so you know, this week, Wednesday night, I'm going to have a special guest for a special 9/11 tribute, 20 years in the making. I have the fire department chaplain who prayed with my family at the World Trade Center site when I brought my cousin's parents, my aunt and my uncle. I brought him and her down to the site along with his brother and sister and his wife. And we were praying and picking up debris from the ground zero and putting them in plastic bags because that's all they had to remember their brother, their sons, their cousins. And fire department chaplain Bob Osler from Illinois came out of nowhere and prayed with us 20 years ago. And I haven't seen him or spoken to him since I did the Cops and Cocktail podcast. He saw it. He saw me mention him, not by name, but just by, I said a chaplain came and prayed with me. He reached out to me, and he is going to be on my channel with me Wednesday to talk about our 20-year reunion, our reunion of his prayer and faith, and how he helped my family get through a very devastating time when I lost my cousin and the attacks at September 11th. So Bob Osler, the chaplain, is still doing God's work. He's still praying. He was at the condo collapse in Florida, praying with the rescue workers there. I have his book. I'm going to promote his book. He wrote a book, and I and my family are in that book. Haven't seen him, haven't spoke to him in 20 years. He saw me on a podcast, and he reached out to me. And it was just an unbelievable moment. You're not going to want to miss it. This is going to be a wonderful broadcast, and many tears will be shed during that broadcast. I can guarantee you that, because I believe my cousin's sister is going to come on, my cousin, Carmelan. She may be coming on to share some moments with us. It's going to be an emotional one, so you don't want to miss it. On behalf of Dave Rader and Equusearch and Crime Time with DutyRon and Equusearch, I want to say God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, and all victims of crime and their families across the globe. Good night from New York City and Cincinnati, Ohio. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Dave, good night, and thank you.
Good night, Ron.